Hello, welcome to BYOB Story, Chapter 1, where we will be sharing a lot of stories of women of who turned into life coaches and healers, and now they are transforming lives with their skill and with their zeal to help others become their real selves, connect with their real selves. And today we have our first guest, Jeeya Jain, who is a soft skill trainer and an image consultant. She started her journey from being a housewife for 17 years and now becoming a life coach and a healer to reach out to more individuals and transform their lives. So we have Jeeya with us today to talk about her transformational story, that what triggered her to get into to move out of her comfort zone to become who she is today, and to spread this word that if she can, anybody can. And end of the day, we all matter, we all individuals, we matter, our stories matter. And this is why we are here today to connect with Jeeya Jain to take us through her life story of transformation and breakthroughs. Welcome to BYOB Stories, Jeeya.
Hi, Shivani. Thank you so much for such a warm welcome. A lot of gratitude. And yes, so I'm here. And what can I say? Yes, my journey started from being a homemaker to 17 years of my marriage. And then starting from soft skill training to image consulting to train the trainer program. And then I came into life coaching and healing. So, yeah, it's been quite some time now here.
Welcome to BYOB, Jeeya, and I'm so happy that you are our first guest.
Oh,
There couldn't have been a better start because I know you from a while, and we connected somewhere because of you shared your story, and we had some common conversation about how we started our lives from being housewives and then turning into entrepreneurs. So welcome, and like you shared that 17 years of being a housewife, so what triggered you to jump into something, I would say, an unknown territory of your life?
exactly. It's so easy to remain in your comfort zone, but
Yeah.
extending and pushing your comfort zone is not easy, of course. And for me, like, what triggered me or what motivated or inspired, anyhow you can put it, is like my own struggles. When I delivered my son in 2003, I started with panic attacks, and, my journey with depression and anxiety started. And it was so intense that 2007, my daughter was born, and it became even more worse. Having a good husband, and having like my mother family support, like my mom's side family, a lot of support, lots of love, everything, and still I was going through intense pain and intense, struggle, suffering with my anxiety and depression. It lasted for 20 long years, 2 decades. And it was like, in that journey, because it was so intense, I could not sit, I could not sleep, I could not eat, I could not talk. I was, most of the times, I was, dysfunctional. So I had to do something about to come out of it. I could not stay there. And, in my, uh, in my struggle to make my life better, to serve my family, because I had 2 kids by then. So I had to make, myself, like, what do I say, as something I had to
Yeah.
normalize my life,
Yes.
yeah. So all these things, and then I started doing, learning. And my biggest struggle was more than depression and anxiety, was the stigma around depression and anxiety.
Right.
No awareness about mental and emotional health. In 2003, like, we did not have internet as much as I know, like we did not have so much of exposure and everything. Anytime I spoke about my anxiety, everyone said, ये तो सबको होता है, ये तो normal है. Everybody
Right.
goes through it. शादी के बाद तो होता ही है. And like itna zyada, like nobody was serious, or nobody wanted to even address that, that I needed help. So all this made, my journey that so more intense, and I had to just prove it to myself that I can be fine and normal one day. Though everybody supported me, like my husband and my family, in their own ways, but not as in for my anxiety and depression.
Right.
That remained like under the carpet. Hide it.
Absolutely.
So.
I
Yeah.
can understand because in our country, even I see that I go through anxiety attacks, and I've never spoken about it. Even today, I do not. I guess no one knows around me, my family members. I have these anxiety attacks or something of this
Panic
sort.
attack.
Because I always felt, there is something wrong in me. There is something wrong in me, and this was the thing that I had in my mind. And when I started my coaching journey, and when I got into this whole world of self, before that, I did not know the real meaning of self. And when I really got the understanding of this word self, then I understood that, there is something big that has to happen. And this is something which is normal. And it is like we focus on physical health. Similarly, our mental health is as important as our physical health, and which is not being talked about, especially in women in India. They are, like you said, you were told ki ye to sabko hota hai. Anxiety, depression, I guess there is some percentage of this in every individual. Forget about women and men. It's in every individual.
Yes, yes.
And people, our own family members, our inner circle is not ready to understand that it shouldn't be ignored.
Yeah. And more than ignore, there's stigma around it. आप साइकियाट्रिस्ट के पास नहीं जा सकते. You know,
हाँ,
थेरेपिस्ट, साइकोथेरेपिस्ट के पास जाओगे, आप पागल हो क्या? You still I face people like, like I have sometimes husbands calling me up, sometimes wives calling me up, कि please, मेरे spouse को help कर दो. And one of them who's going through it is like, मैं कोई पागल नहीं हूँ. Why should I go to a healer? Why should I go to a therapist? Why should I go to a psychiatrist? मुझे नहीं जाना है. So, there's no awareness कि आपकी, in fact, I would say more than your physical health, your emotional health is more important because that decides your physical health.
right,
So, there's something, I still wonder ki how we're not being spoken, why our academics, like our schooling, our like how we've grown up, why we haven't spoken about it, why it is always, kept under the carpet, ki ye to aap deal karna hi hai aapko. You can't
right.
speak about it. You just can't be open about it. Why? And otherwise, people start judging you. Is your husband not okay? Is he not treating you? Does he
Mm.
have an affair? Is that no, none of it? Then what's your problem? Then they
What's
make
your
you feel that you are the problem.
mm,
Something is wrong with you. So that makes you even more responsible that something is wrong with me. I'm not okay. I'm like, I'm not fit to be here. I'm not worth it. So dealing with all these things and then dealing with your anxiety is like it makes the struggle 10x more. So that really, I would say that really motivated and inspired me to talk about my anxiety and depression openly. I suffered 15 years of suicidal thoughts. 15 years, 10 years of medication I have been on, for my anxiety and depression. Though I did not have suicidal tendencies, but I had thoughts. So, going through that intense journey and having a struggle on day-to-day basis for everything that I was going through, actually that motivated me, that I want to talk about it. I do not want to hide it anymore. Even if I can serve one person, one woman or one man, anybody, one child, I think my job will be done.
right, right. You're just given me chills by saying 15 years being in that state. And I usually see individuals, I would say, not even again, I really want to address women here, but in India, I see both the, men and women, they go through this, right,
Yes,
in their own sweet and bitter ways.
yes.
And you said 15 years of this long journey of being into this state. Uh,
15 years, sorry to interrupt you, with only suicidal thoughts. Two
and 20
decades,
years
20 years of anxiety. And it took 5 years for me to start with suicidal thoughts. If I would have taken care then, I wouldn't
of.
have been here. So this is how, it progresses. So yeah, please continue.
So how did you break this pattern? Because I know it's very difficult. I'm just talking about my anxiety here, which I will say, which is just 1% of the condition of you went through, right? It's just because of some stress and all, I get those anxiety attacks. But what you went through, it was a very prolonged and
It was
mixture of a lot
chronic.
of emotions and things that
Mhm.
you had, just young kids, they were growing up, they needed you, you had a family wherein you were struggling with yourself, wherein there was this outside world who was not ready to understand you, and you were fighting with your own self, despite again giving this line of, everything was perfect around you,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
So how did you actually break that loop and come out of it to say that, I'm ready to talk about it, I'm ready to act for myself?
Yes. So yeah, because as I said, my struggle itself was my motivation. It was so intense that I could not stay with it. So I had to ask for help, and and I was made to believe, or I started to believe, that it's only me on this planet who's going through this, because
Mm,
nobody else is talking about it. There's nobody going to psychiatrist in my surroundings, or even if they are going, they're not talking about it. So how am I to know, like, वरना सब लोग like, और भी होता है कि तो वेस्ट में बहुत कॉमन है,
mm,
इंडिया में नहीं, वेस्ट में है, वहां पर है, बट हमारे यहाँ नहीं है, you know.
right.
So you have to, like, then I started finding people online who are going through this. Even if I would find one person who's going through this, I used to feel that, that connection. Yeah, I'm
Right.
normal, like not normal, but I have somebody else also going through this. That
Mm,
was my situation when I started to research, find it out, and then I reached to one psychotherapist, and then he sent me to a psychiatrist that you can start with medication for some time, and because that was the only way. And then I started. I was not initially very ready to go to psychiatrist, nor was my family, but then seeing my condition and everything, like jana hi padega. There's no other option. Then I started going there, then for therapy, and then I started to heal myself. And then, my journey slowly started. But I had to ask for it. I had to ask for help. I had to tell that this is not okay. I'm not okay. 2014, my dad expired. And, like, he left us. And that was like even more bad. I was like gone. It was like I can't take it anymore after that. So after that, like, my journey started with, it's been 10 years now. And then even I started to research and, like, start with things. वरना लोग अगर आपको, I have seen this also, I want to really talk about this, कि ना जब आप ऐसे मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज में से जा रहे हो ना, इमोशनल में, तो लोग आपको ना किसी गुरु के पास, किसी
mm,
सत्संग में, किसी होली होली प्लेस लेके चले जाएंगे, स्पिरिचुअल प्लेस लेके चले जाएंगे, नॉट स्पिरिचुअल, रिलीजियस प्लेसेस लेके चले जाएंगे, ताकि ना सब लोगों को बस वहां जाकर हो जाएगा,
right.
सोल्यूशन है। आप थोड़ा भगवान में ज्यादा ध्यान दो, आप ज्यादा पूजा पाठ करो, वो तो मैं ऑलरेडी आई वाज डूइंग, आई रेज्ड इन अ फैमिली वेयर आई वाज वेरी वेरी रिलीजियस, स्पिरिचुअल, एवरीथिंग। तो पीपल विल जस्ट पुश यू देयर, मतलब दैट्स द अल्टीमेट थिंग, उसके आगे कुछ नहीं है, मतलब उतना ही है।
Right.
So I have been through everything to be here today. So
Yeah, there are a lot of pieces I can connect. When I was going through I had hit the rock bottom of my life, and even I was getting these kind of comments from my known ones. Oh, तुम पूजा नहीं करती हो ना, तुम मंदिर नहीं जाती हो ना, तुम ये नहीं करती हो ना, इसलिए. And I was
इसलिए
like wondering, really? And what about the people who actually go there and sit there for hours? Are their life perfect? When I dive deep into their lives, I don't see that. I'm much more calmer, I'm handling my situation. And I would like to, what you said, that it was you who said that I need help. You accepted that fact that you need help. Till the time we do not accept, telling ourselves is a different thing, but accepting the fact that yes, I need help and I need to work for myself, nobody else is going to come for me, right?
yes,
And
yes,
that is when actually that shift starts happening, because this is when it happened with me also. When Till that time I was in that, I'm very positive person, I'm very strong person, I know how to handle, because this is how we are raised,
yeah,
somewhere subconsciously, right?
yeah,
अब खुद करो, इंडिपेंडेंट बनो, बट इंडिपेंडेंट कहाँ कैसे बनना है, इट डजंट मीन दैट you you do not face the realities of your life, right? So
yes,
the day I said that, yes, I'm being negative and I really need help, that day even my journey changed. I started attracting people who were coming to me and telling me that, we are there, you need something, we are there, you need something, So I realized now when I look back, my 36 years of, I started my transformational journey at the age of 36. So 36 years of my life versus my last 3 years. I would say now I'm actually living a life. Earlier, I was just a dead body walking around, a
Yeah.
puppet of others' hands, right? Who had told me, do this, do that, sit, sleep, eat,
Yeah.
dress up, do not, like what
Autopilot mode पे, you know,
pilot? Huh.
we live our
Directions
life.
also pilot.
या ऑटोपायलट मोड पे भी जैसे जैसे सब लोग जी रहे, जैसे जैसे वी आर रेज्ड, यू नो, एल्डर्स जी रहे आजू बाजू में, बस ये that was the, I was always told that you are so strong because see we shifted from Punjab, you know, from north to Bangalore when I was 18, 13, 14 years approx, and then I come from Hindi medium. For me it was very intense because at the 8th grade, you know, we started with A for apple, B for book kind of thing, and here the maths was also in English, everything was in English. So
Right.
I was like, you know, I was humiliated, insulted, everything every single day. Like, you know, there was a lot of bullying and everything on a day-to-day basis. And for me, learning English was the biggest challenge. And then I started with asthma attacks, which till date nobody else has got, you know, like nobody has asthma. So whenever chachus or papa took me to the doctor, like, तो डॉक्टर पूछता था लाइक और किसी को है आस्थमा नहीं, 4 generations में और किसी को नहीं है. Then I used to believe, why only me, God? And that was life-threatening asthma, you know. So every night I'm wheezing and I can't sleep. And morning I used to wake up at around 4:30, 5:30 at times. And I had English Rapid speaking course was the only way for me to learn English because there was no net, there was nothing else. So Rapid पढ़ना है, वो भी basic से, what's your name? Which standard are you in? From there, I had to start my English and then go to the school and study all the subjects in English. So from there, I started with my journey. So everybody used to give me my example. कि जिया, you're so strong. तुमने तो किया है ना. ये कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. But being strong has its own, you know, definition. और being, and you know, अगर कोई मुझसे आज पूछे ना, तो strong होने का मतलब ये नहीं कि आप कभी नहीं रोओगे. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप कभी भी फेलियर फील नहीं करोगे या आप कभी भी गिव अप नहीं करोगे. आप सब कुछ करोगे. But again, you keep moving. You just don't stop. That's the definition. You will cry out loud. You will ask for help. That doesn't make you weak. We have given those, you know, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, our own definitions कि strong का मतलब ये है.
Labels. Labels
ये
दे
बच्चे,
देते.
हाँ, अगर आप strong हो मतलब आप ये नहीं करने वाले हो, आप ऐसे ऐसे behave नहीं करने वाले हो, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. You know, so asking for help in itself is being strong. Showing your vulnerability is a strength. It's not all of us can do it. I was like all okay to say that I can't take it anymore. I have given up. I just don't know. I'm confused. So
Mm.
I think even that needs a lot of strength. How many of us can say that? So I would encourage people to, you know, just come up and say, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say that I can't take it anymore. I need help.
Right, right. Yes, absolutely. Saying to yourself, it's okay is very important. That
Yes.
it's okay, I'm feeling so, it's okay, I'm feeling sad. It's okay, I'm feeling, low today. It's okay, especially women. As we were talking before, recording this, that we are put into the guilt. When we even want to do something for ourselves, or even if we want to accept the fact that you are feeling in a certain way, we are, as women, sometimes we are put into the guilt that you're not supposed to feel so. What exactly are you doing that you're feeling so?
Yes, yes.
What happened that you're feeling so?
Yes. And you compare, you know, constantly कि ये तो अच्छा है, बच्चे तो नॉर्मल हैं, फिर क्यों, हस्बैंड तो अच्छा है, फैमिली तो ऐसी है, he's not beating you, he's loyal, he's honest, he's good, or he or she, like your parents are good, you belong to a normal good family, like, you know, where your needs are met, basically everything. Then why? And you're like, you know, and you can't do this. You have 2 kids, you can't cry. You
Right.
have 2 kids. You can't be anxious. Then how your kids are going to behave? उनका क्या होगा? वो ऐसी रोती हुई माँ को देखेंगे, ऐसी डरी हुई माँ को देखेंगे, तो कैसा होगा? हस्बैंड क्या सोचेगा? सारा दिन you are feeling anxious. And it's like, does it make me good? Does it make me feel good about myself? Having all those, you know, fears and labels, that insecurity did never help me or motivate me to get well. In fact, when I started saying that it's okay, I'm normal in my own ways. There's nothing abnormal about me. There's nothing wrong about me. But yes, I'm not feeling okay. Yes, I'm feeling anxious. Yes, I'm fearful. That actually helped me, you know, not by just saying I'm okay, I'm okay. That toxic positivity, you know, that doesn't take you anywhere. So you
Yeah.
have to accept a part which comes very, slowly in the process. It doesn't happen like, it takes a lot of time, patience, practice, and day-to-day work to say that
Right.
it's okay. I can go through anxiety. It's okay. But yes, but you have to start somewhere. You
Right.
have to start somewhere and never get into, I would really say through your channel, that never get into toxic positivity, I'm okay. I'm
Hmm.
okay. And I'm not okay. And saying positive things and just talking positive things will not make you feel good about yourself, for sure. No.
Right, right. Jia, I just want to go back into your story of anxiety because I know a lot of women around us. They are going through the state, and there is no support around them. Like I would say we were blessed that we had supportive family and people around us, although they were not understanding our situation
Yes.
because we were also not opening up. But we see also that women, they do not have that supportive family who can understand their situation, who can really support them. And you went through a phase for a very long time, like very long time, right? And as I said, I have seen that how that body becomes like when I go through my anxiety, that phase, I know my body becomes heavy. I don't feel like doing anything. It takes me so much of strength to come out of that situation, which is very occasional for me, right?
Yeah.
But you had a very long time with that. You lived that kind of life for a very long time. And of course it must have not happened like overnight. It came after 20 years that let me just come up and say that I need help, let me I need to work for myself. This was also a process that you went through, that you
Yes.
reached to a point and you said to yourself that enough is enough, right?
Yes.
So can
Yes.
you just share a little bit of journey of that, that how did you actually accepted the fact that you need help, you need to break this cycle, you need to come out of it, and you need help, no matter what people say around me, no matter if anybody supports me, but I need to support myself. How did this voice came into your head, and how did you, this is my second question, then how did you actually took action? What was your first step? Because that first step is very important, and this is where we all lag, taking that first step towards our journey. We are scared of that step,
Yeah.
right? So if you
So
can just take us through that.
yeah, actually, my husband was a person who always wanted to help me but didn't know how. He was ready to take me to psychiatrist, though everybody said no, no, no. He was there. Maybe even I was not ready, like with the pressure around, कि नहीं मुझे नहीं जाना है, मैं like मैं पागल तो नहीं हूँ और ये सब चीजें. So and then 2014, as I said, my dad expired, and I was really like, I had given up कि मैं नहीं जी सकती हूँ अब ये वाली लाइफ. मैं ना खा पा रही हूँ, ना सो पा रही हूँ, ना बैठ पा रही हूँ, ना मैं बच्चों का ध्यान रख पा रही हूँ, ना मैं खुद का ध्यान रख पा रही हूँ. खुद, I didn't even know who am I. I was totally lost in my head. And then yeah, one day what happened, Times of India में मैंने एक article पढ़ा, Manisha Ramakrishnan, I had shot one interview also with her long back. So, she's a Bangalorean and she had suffered the most tragic fire, incident in Bangalore that had happened so far, the biggest, like, the most horrendous thing. And then, and she lives in Bangalore and she's living her life with the, like she's come out of it and everything, though she for 8 to 10 months she was in ICU. Okay, and after that she's living her life with she had lost her voice permanently, and she was on oxygen support for rest of her life and a lot of things. After reading this, I don't know, something motivated me. If she can do it, why can't I do?
Hmm.
And that, trust me, I started finding out because in nowhere in the paper it was given that where she lives.
Hmm.
I started to search for her, be it on Facebook or Twitter. पता नहीं कहाँ कहाँ जाके newspaper वाले को भी call किया होगा वहाँ. I don't exactly remember, but I got her address. I got her number. I s- I went to her house to meet her because I was really going through suicidal things then, and I wanted help. I met this lady, and she was like, she said that, she was already divorced then. She said, my husband, my ex-husband, is in psychotherapist, one of the best psychotherapists in Bangalore. You can meet her. He is now he is now 70 or something, and he has a great experience of working with so many people, and he can help you and everything. And she, she motivated me in her life motivated me. In fact, her presence, more than she's saying anything, just her beingness and dealing with those things, and her personality, it really really motivated me. So after meeting her, then I my journey with psychotherapy, and then it started with I met a psychiatrist, and it just started from there. I was looking for a light, for some hope, and that
Hmm.
I got from Manisha. Yeah.
So, if I would
Psychotherapy.
say that you were consciously trying to find that light. So
Yes.
that was one effort that you were putting in. You were not
Constantly.
giving up.
Constantly I was going through, Facebook or Instagram, no, Facebook, or wherever, the people who have survived anxiety and depression. I was just searching for people who have survived, not how many people died, kitne suicide ho rahe hain. If I would even accidentally, if I would go through such news, I used to feel panic कि there's no hope for me. I'm never going to be okay. But as I found out one person who survived it, one thing, if one person was enough for me to, give hope to myself that even I can come out of it. So,
Right.
because I had not seen anybody else going through this in my circle. And now I know so many of them are going up because people are talking to me now. And they are saying that I had gone through this, I had tried suicide 3 times, 4 times, 2 times. I'm like, really? I wish I would have known then. At least I would have felt that I'm okay. It would have given me some hope that I'm not abnormal or there's nothing wrong with me. That didn't happen to me for at least, 10 years in the beginning, maybe. Yeah. So,
This is exactly the message I want to spread, that whatever we feel, everything is normal. Everything is normal. It's just a matter of fact. It's just a matter of accepting the fact that, okay, I'm going through this. It's okay. It shall too pass, right? And
Upasana.
all and coming back to your words, constantly try to find the light, and you will get one, because again, somewhere subconsciously, because you were trying to find that light, you were manifesting the
Yeah.
answer, the solution,
The solution, the
right?
situation, the people, everything, the healers, the therapists, the psychiatrists, everything that helped me overcome, my anxiety. And it's okay. I would say that it's okay. It is okay to normalize everything, normalize anxiety, normalize depression. But do not make your state of mind normal. Do not think that, कि ये normal है इसलिए I can live with it. नहीं, you have to do something about it. Do not make it your comfort zone by saying it's normal. It is normal, and you're not the first or the last person. You know what really helped me, Shivani, was that when I realized I'm not the first, I'm not the last person who's going through this. There are
Hmm.
many before me, many after me, many with me in the journey.
Right.
So when you know that you're not alone in your journey, that really helps you कि अगर एक इंसान भी कर सकता है ना, तो
Hmm.
कोई भी कर सकता है। और मुझसे पहले तो बहुत सारे लोगों ने हैव गॉन थ्रू दिस, मेरे साथ बहुत सारे हैं और मेरे बाद भी बहुत सारे होने वाले हैं। सो हाउ आई लीड माई लाइफ टुडे विद एंजाइटी एंड डिप्रेशन एंड व्हाट आई एम डूइंग विद इट, हाउ आई एम हेल्पिंग पीपल, is going to help other people who are going to come after me or who are with me now going through this, you know so I think, अगर अगर आप ये बोलते हो ना कि बहुत सारे लाइफ कोचेस हैं, बहुत सारे लोगों ने एंजाइटी को मतलब हील कर लिया है। कितने लोगों ने? 8 बिलियन लोग हैं हमारी प्लैनेट पे, अगर 20, 30, 50,000, 2 lakhs, 10 lakhs ने कर लिया, स्टिल वी नीड मोर पीपल हु आर हील्ड, still we need, lot of healers, lot of people who can, because we constantly need that, that hope within us. If today if somebody is watching this and I have gone through depression or going through it, or somebody after 10 years from now, I'm sure it's going to give
Hmm.
them hope. And hope is so important,
Right.
to I know how it feels. For me, the little thing, if someone by mistake said that I've gone through depression and I'm healed, it was enough for me to live at least 10 days. With that one thing, to be like thinking about it, I can do it, I can do it, I can. So it is very important, I would say. And don't normalize your anxiety and depression. Your anxiety and depression is normal, but don't normalize it. Do
Right.
something about it.
And as you said, it's a process. It's not a
Yeah.
time thing that you do and it's done forever. It's an
No.
ongoing process. Even for, if you, again, for a person like me who doesn't have that high percentage of
Yeah.
anxiety, depression, or
Yeah.
we all have some percentage, right? And
Everyone.
we have to be consciously keep working on it. And as my mentor says, we usually say life is a journey, and he says no, life is not a journey, it's a pilgrimage. ये एक यात्रा है जो आप करते हो,
Yes.
right? And it will have its own ups and
Down.
downs and everything. So it's a process that you are on always,
Yes.
and consciously you have to keep making your choices and
Yes.
keep taking actions towards it.
Yes. Yes. It's
Amazing,
so
Jia.
happy to talk to you, Shivani, because if your thought process is there's so much of depth in what your experiences and what way you're understanding everything. Thank you. I'm so touched.
Thank you, Jia, for this. I guess this is it's again about being just aware of what is happening around you,
Yeah.
inside as well as outside. It's just we start taking life too hard on ourselves कि जिंदगी, क्योंकि हमें बोला लाइफ बहुत मुश्किल है भाई, बहुत लंबी है, बहुत मुश्किल है, और all this shit has been given to us
Yes, yes,
since our childhood. We keep listening, everything is so hard, everything is so hard. But now when I look at it, I also felt for a very longest time of my life that life is so hard. But now when I see it, the same situations, the same problems, everything, I feel it is so effortless. इतना
yes.
आराम से सोल्यूशन निकल गया, बस उसको इम्प्लीमेंट ही तो करना था, सही तरीके से सोचना ही तो था सिचुएशन को कि ये प्रॉब्लम है. नाउ व्हाट वी कीप डूइंग इज कीप फोकसिंग ऑन द प्रॉब्लम है एंड नाउ प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट्स गेटिंग एम्पलीफाइड,
Yes, yes.
राइट?
And
जस्ट one thing. Yeah, continue.
please continue, please.
So just we have to start focusing on the solution. If there is a problem, there is a solution. There is day, there is night. There is heads, there is tail. So everything has two sides.
Exactly. And most of the times, in my experience, I've seen that कि हम लोग है ना ज्यादा सोल्यूशन, कभी कभी ना हमें सोल्यूशन नहीं चाहिए होता, हमें सिर्फ
Hmm.
कोई ये कह देना कि हाँ ये नॉर्मल है, ऐसा होता है.
Hmm.
People, you see so many people, we keep talking about our problems. 10 बार दिन में 10 लोगों से बात की, वही प्रॉब्लम. अरे कोई
Right.
सोल्यूशन दे रहा होता है तो हमें लेना ही नहीं होता है, क्योंकि
Hmm.
कहीं ना कहीं it makes me comfort as victim, कि हाँ like yeah you like ये लोग मान रहे हैं कि मुझे प्रॉब्लम है, और हम
Hmm.
उसी में रह जाते हैं. तो that's also कि are you really looking for a solution. And और ये जो implementation है ना, as you start with applying those tools and techniques given by anybody you are working with or who's helping you, when you start applying and when you start working with that on a day-to-day basis, I tell you, life becomes so easy. Everything starts becoming effortless for you.
Right.
Things that would take time today, that takes a lot of effort and struggle, tomorrow, tomorrow or day after tomorrow or 10 days from now, they become part of your DNA. Your neural pathways in your brain starts to change. Your chemistry, your biochemistry and everything is changing. And the best thing is neuroplasticity in our brain, which
Right.
is like a gift to we humans. We
Hmm.
just have to put some effort and we can see the difference, that how things become easy for you. The only thing is willingness to change. Are
Right.
we willing to come out of that, and do something about what is not like. And life is difficult, is being, thought and programmed in us.
Right.
अगर पैसे कमाने हैं तो पैसे कमाने कोई आसान बात नहीं है, पैसे कोई पेड़ पे नहीं उगते हैं. बहुत बहुत पापड़ बेलने पड़ते हैं,
Hmm.
तो लोग बहुत बुरे होते हैं. यू विल नॉट गेट गुड पीपल इन योर लाइफ. तो ये सारी चीजें तो इतनी कंडीशनड है हमारे अंदर कि बाय डिफॉल्ट है ना, अगर कोई चीज इजी होती है ना तो हमें उसमें विश्वास ही नहीं होता. इजी मिल रही है मतलब कुछ तो गड़बड़ है.
कुछ हम वी स्टार्ट डाउटिंग आवरसेल्व्स. अरे आज मैं बहुत खुश हूँ, कुछ तो गड़बड़ होने
कुछ तो
वाली है.
गड़बड़. अरे
Immediately
इसलिए
we turn
या
into that, happiness turns into fear.
Fear. एंड अगर किसी ने कोई कॉम्प्लीमेंट दे दिया मतलब इसको कुछ तो बेनिफिट चाहिए मुझसे, कुछ तो होगा। हम लोगों को डाउट करते हैं, हम खुद को डाउट करते हैं, हम सिचुएशंस पे डाउट करते हैं, हम मिराकल्स पे डाउट करते हैं, हम सब चीजों पे डाउट ही करते हैं ना, क्योंकि हमने सीखा है कि लाइफ इज डिफिकल्ट, कुछ भी आसान नहीं है लाइफ में। तो हम सारा दिन डिफिकल्ट सोचते हैं और डिफिकल्टी को क्रिएट भी कर लेते हैं लाइफ में। इजी तो हमें
Right.
चाहिए ही नहीं लाइफ में। सो नाउ वी हैव टू चेंज इट एटलीस्ट फॉर आवर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन, that it is nothing is difficult as long as you're ready to work for it.
I'm reading this book, The Surrender Experiment.
Oh,
It's a beautiful book about by Michael A. Singer
Michael,
about
yeah.
his
Even I've been reading his book, yeah.
about his journey about meditation, and he talks about the surrender. And like you
Mm.
said, we are always doubting. And
Yeah.
what I felt, once you start surrendering to the situations, and
Right.
in this book, it's very clearly mentioned, surrender doesn't mean that you're becoming weak, right?
Yes, yes.
Surrender is about accepting the situation and understanding that what life is giving you and
Yes.
how beautiful that situation is. Trying to find that beauty in that situation. And something happened with me yesterday. I broke my 8-year-old watch. That was my first smart watch that I bought with my money, and it was like very dear to me. And it broke yesterday. And I came back home. My son was at home, and I told him, my watch broke. I was so upset and all that stuff. And he was, whole day trying to come up with ideas. Mama, how can we fix this watch? How can we fix this watch? And he started looking for a new watch. But he understood that how dear this watch is to me. And so today morning again, this was the first time in 8 years that I went to for my workouts without a watch, without
Okay.
that watch. And I felt like, something's missing from my life. And, all of a sudden,
Yeah, I
this was
know.
a materialistic thing
The
which can be bought
emotional
again.
connection.
And I was emotionally connected to that watch because it was my first watch.
Yeah.
And I stepped out of the house, and it was like, oh, not going to be a good workout day for me because watch is not there. I'll not be able to see my calorie burn, heart rate, and all that stuff because that pumps me up to do more and more and more. But today I realized when I came back from my workout, I had the best workout day because I was not worried about looking at my watch, what time it is, how many calories I have, but all I was focusing was on my body, on what I'm doing, on my breath. I went for my yoga. So otherwise, I realized what I used to do after some time. I used to, oh, how many calories I have burnt. Oh, how many. Today I had nothing to look at. All I
Yeah.
had to focus was on myself. And I
Physical
realized,
body.
yeah, I
And your own
didn't
body signals.
my own body signals.
Yeah.
Then I realized for 8 years I was missing this moment. And
Yes.
because my watch broke, I realized the importance of, I do not need those gadgets. All I need is to listen to my body because
So
this is
true.
what the demand of my body is. And then I just surrendered myself to this whole situation. And I said that I'm so grateful that, I had this moment today with myself, which I wouldn't have if I had the watch in my wrist,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah. See how
So,
we live in autopilot mode, ना? कि बस
right.
वो चीज है, उसे कंफर्ट है, उसके बेनिफिट्स पता है, बस उसी के साथ निकल जाएगा टाइम. We
निकल
don't want
जाएगा.
to try it. All of us, even I do it. All of us do it, and we need these reminders time and again. And it was such
Right.
a blessing in disguise,
Right.
you know.
This is exactly. We just need to find that what we teach in gratitude practice. Gratitude is not folding your hands and saying thank you
Yeah,
to everything. It's
yeah,
just trying to find gratitude in this daily situations of your life. Like till yesterday, I was not grateful about the situation,
yeah.
but when today I experienced something else and I was consciously and I was conscious, I was aware of the situation. Then I realized consciously, I sat with myself that what happened today? If my watch was missing, what happened in that moment? So it came out to be a good moment. And I
Okay.
felt grateful about that situation. So
Yeah.
gratitude is all about that, what I feel. What do you think? Like you are a life coach, you can just throw more light on this, the whole practice of gratitude.
Yeah, see, again, yeah, this you really brought out a very good example. In fact, thank you so much, Shivani, for giving this example. See how till we don't know, like जब हम ignorant होते हैं, तो everything becomes a curse.
Right.
छोटी से छोटा change becomes a curse. For ऐसा क्यों हो गया? Why? And we so much get engrossed with trying to fix it.
Hmm.
या उसके बाहर ही नहीं सोच पाते. And when we are into life coaching or healing, like when we are doing it for ourselves, forget about doing it for others or being a coach, but when you are practicing this yourself and healing and these, cleaning tools, and you just, and developing that self-love for yourself, everything becomes a blessing in the game. Everything. And I read a book of Byron Katie, Loving What Is. That really helped me with my anxiety, of course. Loving What Is. And again, this really helped me understand that loving what is not about, staying there. And if I love what is, like, if I love my anxiety today, or if I love, my kids' behavior, like when they are back answering me or whatever it is, or when, I have my struggles with my profession, if I start loving that, then I may not move ahead or I may not progress. No, it's not the truth. When you start loving is what is in the present, and you surrender to it, then you accept it that this is happening, and then move what to do. You're not fighting it constantly and then trying to, bypass that movement. If we are doing that, then we're creating more struggle and sufferings. But whereas when we accept it, कि ये हो रहा है, ये हो गया है, I can't do anything about it now, but what should be my next step? With what is happening to me, I don't want to bypass it. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं अभी कभी anxiety नहीं feel करूंगी, and then I will do this work. No, I'm feeling anxiety. What I can do with my anxiety? Can I just make a call? Can I just use a little technique? Can I do something with it? Whatever is happening, my kids are they're back and something. They're not accepting what I'm saying to them. They're not ready to listen to me. Fine. What I can still do? Can I just calm down for some time and then talk to them when they are in good mood? You know, how you're constantly finding ways out of, and trust me, I have come to see that everything is a blessing in disguise in life. 101%. I can, this has been my experience, like as I'm healing and everything. And again, and also one thing, it's maybe not connected to this, but I want to share this as well here, that do not say that fear is not opposite to courage. you know Love is not opposite to hate. They are not opposites. In fact, they are, you know, I don't know how, I'm just missing that word. They are parallelly, like, equally needed. If you have fear, definitely you can become courageous.
Right, right.
Agar if
Complement each other, actually.
they complement each other, and this is the way to go through. When I was like, I lived in my fear. I lived with fears for 20 years. Fear of every, अगर किसी एक बर्तन गिरने की भी आवाज आ जाती थी ना, तो I used to start panicking. क्योंकि I was going through, panic and anxiety on like 20-30 panic attacks a day. Through the day, I was from being there to, I'm traveling alone, I'm doing my work, I have my clients, I have my profession, I'm doing everything that I need to do. How did I come there? Because I was not fighting fear. I started to find courage in fear. And fear helped me get courageous. अगर इतना fear नहीं होता तो इतना courage भी नहीं. अगर आपकी लाइफ में इतने सारे struggles नहीं होंगे तो आपकी लाइफ में इतनी success भी नहीं होगी. They are just complementing each other once you start understanding and stop fighting it. And that is surrender. That helps us. That actually is the real meaning of surrender. It stops that fighting spirit of you. It starts accepting and then moving ahead. And trust me, moving ahead from there, from surrender, is much more easier. It calms your nervous system. It calms your thought process. It helps you see things more clearly. It helps you relax with your problem. And so constantly, अगर आप एक हाथ से fight कर रहे हो और एक हाथ से solution ढूंढ रहे हो, नहीं होने वाला काम है ये. It will take ages for you to get where you want to get. Right. So yeah, thank you for bringing this surrender here.
Yeah, it's a very, very deep message that you have given, that, how love, hate, all these two opposite emotions, thoughts, how they actually complement each other. It's just what we are focusing on. We are focusing only on one element, that is what we call is negative. I do not even call that negative anymore. I call my emotions, either that emotion makes me happy, light, or it makes me heavy.
Heavy, yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
Why do I tag it as negative or positive?
Yeah.
Emotion is an emotion. It has to do certain work in me, and it is there for a reason. It's just I have to see where I have to focus. What am I feeling? Just be aware of that state, and just let that emotion do its work, and just let it go. Pass on.
Yes.
Why to just keep sticking
It's
to it?
guiding
And
you. It's
right,
guiding you to something that's within you already. You
right,
don't have to look outside for it. It is a guiding light. When you're not comfortable with something, when you're not okay with something, that means there is something more than that. There's something more in it, in you than that. So you just automatically, it's a nature's force. It's a universal force that is forcing you to now take care, to take a step ahead. So that I think it is such beautifully planned, कि आप automatically अगर आप सोचो अगर आपको ये so called negative emotions if we label them also अगर ये so called negative emotions नहीं होते तो आप अपनी comfort zone में ही होते ना
right.
आप कहाँ होते क्या कर लेते you I would have been so happy being a mother of two normal happy child and a world best husband who's always he's 23 years of my marriage he still loves me as if I'm married to him today. So I would have been so happy doing. I did not have to do any life coaching, any healing. I wouldn't have had to talk to you. But see these emotions, ki how they are, they are blessings in disguise. How they've helped. So it's a beautiful nature's force, universal force to get to make us live to our best potential, to
Right.
unleash that potential which is already within us.
Absolutely. It's just because we were not guiding ourselves to that, what nature wanted us to do. So
Yes,
it has
we've
put
not
us
been
into certain
taught.
situations. Yeah.
Yeah, we've
So,
not been taught. We've not been,
right,
we've not been raised in a way. It has
right.
never been told to us in a way, कि ये negativity है मतलब इससे दूर रहो.
Hmm.
We've been taught that इससे दूर रहो. ये ऐसे लोग बुरे होते हैं, ऐसे emotions बुरे होते हैं, ऐसी चीजें बुरी होती हैं. तो इनसे दूर रहना. In how to handle
Embrace
them,
करना नहीं
manage it.
सीखा है. We've
हाँ,
not been taught how to embrace all these situations because they are inevitable, right? They
yes,
aren't around us
yeah,
because they
yeah,
are part of nature. It's not that वो nature के against कहीं से कुछ है. They're part of nature. We are nature, and they will surround us. So we
yes,
I do feel sad about it. I was in my son's orientation, and they were talking about curriculum, good colleges, Ivy colleges, ये वो सब की बात कर रहे थे, and I was sitting there and I was just wondering कि mindset कहाँ है? आप एजुकेशन तो दे दोगे, आप अच्छे कॉलेज में भी भेज दोगे, उसके बाद who is teaching them how to handle that, the life, the
yes,
failures. No one's talking about कि फेल होगा, ये शायद इसको एडमिशन नहीं मिलेगी, शायद ये वो अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाएगा उस कॉलेज में एडमिशन लेने के बाद. Who is going to teach that? Why this all these powerful tools or these secrets are being kept from these young kids who are the generation, next generation, who are the face of our country now?
yes,
इनको ये चीजें क्यों नहीं सिखाई जा रही है एट दिस टेंडर एज, जो आज वी आर स्पेंडिंग सो मच ऑफ like hefty amounts to get that peace and get that understanding of life now at almost towards we are in like mid of our lives, and now we
exactly.
are trying to find the answers, right?
Answer.
We have our own again journey, सबकी अपनी अपनी
Yes, yes,
journey
it's
है.
perfect in our life. But how about teaching that to the youngsters? How about they knowing
Youngsters,
it now? How easy their life is going to be? We are all, like running race, and we make them part of the race. कि ये रेस
right,
हमने भी जी है, ये रेस आपको भी जीनी है, आपको भी कंपटीशन में रहना है, आपको भी स्ट्रगल करना है. It's nothing is going to come easier to you. You have to have this degree, have this. Like recently I met one of my cousin, and they have a neighbor, बहुत सारी चीजें, but just long story short, they have a neighbor who's a CA and who's has a very huge package. I think he's working in US or something. And this guy comes up home, and and there's some fight happens with the neighbor, and these neighbors are like best friends. मतलब उसके dad का best friend है.
hmm.
Best friends है. And this guy comes, he must be around his 30, 35, 30 to 35 approx. I was shocked to see how he was yelling, fighting, slapping, abusing, मतलब physical abuse, emotional abuse, सारे abuse कर डाले उसने. And his dad is trying to just control कि मेरा friend है, मैं deal कर लूंगा. नहीं, मुझे deal करना है. और raising hand on someone who's of your dad's age. तो मुझे लगता है कि कहाँ पर है education? How are you seeing? How are you like, I'm working internationally, globally, and I have this package, that package. What about the moral values, ethics, and everything else? It's
Right.
totally on stake. What are you trying to teach your children? That जब हम struggle से जब हम साथ दिन स्ट्रगल सफरिंग कंपटीशन से किसी भी मकाम पर पहुंच जाएंगे ना, तो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द बाय प्रोडक्ट, यही हमारा बिहेवियर हो सकता है, नॉट एवरी वन, बट दीज कैन बी द आउटकम्स, क्योंकि वो जो एंगर, जो सप्रेस्ड एंगर है, जो सप्रेस्ड इमोशंस है, वो फिर कहीं पर भी बर्स्ट हो सकते हैं.
Hmm.
It is not the fault of that guy, I'm not saying that, but see the suppression, the amount of suppression that he couldn't control himself. It is dad's friends, dad and his friends, they're two mature people, they can handle everything. Why he needed to, and become the villain, like, his mom came in between, he just, pushed his mom, and she had some 6 to 8 stitches in her hand and everything.
Hmm.
Why there was so much, like, where is it coming from? Of course, we are really missing on the emotional well-being of, our next generation, of ourselves. We were not taught it's okay. But now, and now see, with the social media exposure, and the aggression is also getting higher. We did not have, because our parents were, they were not exposed. We were not
Right.
so much exposed. We did not have that kind of exposure. So we were like, it was easy to tame us. पेरेंट्स,
Hmm.
फैमिली, इतनी सी सराउंडिंग, इतने से मतलब अपना अपना फैमिली, अपना अपना घर, और आई वाज रेज्ड इन अ जॉइंट फैमिली, तो एक एक कल्चर था घर का. देन आई वाज मैरिड इन अ वेरी बिग जॉइंट फैमिली, तो एक कल्चर में रह रहे थे, बस एक एक
Hmm.
बाउंड्रीज थे, बाय डिफॉल्ट थे. मगर आज तो वैसा नहीं है. आज न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज हैं, इतना सारा एक्सपोजर है आपके पास, इतना सारा
Right.
फ्रीडम है. तो अगर उसके अंदर, अगर आप अपनी इमोशनल वेलबींग को, मतलब उसको इम्पोर्टेंस ही नहीं दे रहे हो, तो ये सप्रेस्ड इमोशंस तो फिर कहीं पर भी निकलेंगे. वी कैन सी डिवोर्सेस, द रेट ऑफ डिवोर्सेस, द रेट ऑफ सुसाइड्स, there's so much happening.
So much happening. Absolutely right. So, Jay, I want to know, we talked about your journey, about your state for 20 years, and now you are into life coaching, you are into healing. You had a very long journey, right? Now,
Yeah.
at this current situation, where are you in your life, right? I keep seeing your posts, I keep seeing you on social media, and no one can make out here, right? That what was behind
Yeah.
the scene, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, now, what do you think, according to you, life is? How do you define life now?
For me, life is, it's a complete package. I just, agar koi, like, at $1 million also, I would, or at any X amount, I would not give my sufferings. I would not like to barter my sufferings that I've gone through, because that's made me who I am. So life is a complete package, no matter where you are, or in which kind of family or which country you're born. We are, as long as we are humans, we will go through everything. But what you make out of it, what is given to you, what versus what you make out of it. So life is happiness, sadness, hurt, anxiety, excitement, everything in a package.
Right.
But make sure you live it, you live it fully, and do not settle for less. Just don't say that, ye meri kismat hai. Destiny is
Mhm.
not what happens to us. Destiny is what we make out of what happens to us.
Right.
So just don't settle for less. You're not meant to live that small life, and and die life. All of us, because I know, Shivani, no matter how, like, how many times my mom would have told me, my husband, or kisi ne mujhe bola, you'll be fine one day. I was not ready to believe that I'll be fine, because my suffering
Mm.
was so intense. But I kept moving. I didn't give up. I was, even when I had no hope, even when I thought that nothing can, go right with me, but I was still going through my journey and doing what needed to be done at that moment. So I know, if I can do it, if my life can get better, if I can, heal my anxiety, though it comes up time and again, I still face it, but it doesn't stop me. It motivates me to still, push myself ahead and do whatever needs to be done. So, I would say, ki if I can do it, anybody on this planet can do it. Don't
Right.
settle for less. Don't settle. You're not meant to live that small little life, and and die anonymously, कि किसी को पता ही नहीं होगा कि कौन था ये, कैसी जिंदगी जी है इसने. आपकी
Mm.
स्ट्रगल्स और आपकी सक्सेस दोनों इंपॉर्टेंट है.
Right.
तो दोनों को bring both into light and live with it.
Right, right. Very well said, Jia. And I guess we can talk on and
Oh,
on these
sure.
topics. And these are the endless
Yes.
experiences that we have had. And as you said, that even I am so grateful whatever happened in my life.
Yeah.
In that moment, I was like, why this is happening to me, right? I was more cribbing about those things. But now when I look back into those my life situations, I feel those were my biggest teachers and the real teachers,
Yes,
right?
yes,
They
yes.
taught me how to overcome, to come out of that situation. And today I am here only because those
Positive.
situations appeared in my life.
Yes,
And I
yes,
wanted
yes.
to come out of them and, trying to find who am I and what I am capable of, what can I do, how can I contribute to the society, right?
Yes, yes.
How can
Find
I
purpose.
give back to the nature?
Yes, yes. See how it is. And like I think life is not defined by age, like
Hmm.
I'm 45 now. It is not about the age, it is about the experiences that you have gathered. And I see people like I have a client, Shivani, from say 14 now, which I never thought I would have. 14-year kids, from a very good families are going through suicidal tendencies and thoughts. And I have a client, the last is uncle, I think around 68. 68. Being at 68, you're still cribbing, complaining. I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but I'm trying to just put a thing that, you're still cribbing, you're still complaining, you're still blaming, and you're still not ready to own the responsibility of, what has happened to you and, how your life is. Where are we going? Even if you live for 100 years with this mindset, we will never feel content and happy or grateful or blessed for anything in life. We are always, seeking love outside, and we are also complaining and blaming outside, outside. It's never inside here. So it's never that what I could have done better. So to
Hmm.
live with that anger, that revenge, and then that guilt that my life could never get better. I wish my life would have been better. I think age is not the thing. Start doing something about it. Focus here. There's nothing outside you. Your life, your mind is just a projection of your own thoughts and beliefs and your traumas or everything about you. So what you're projecting, what you're seeing outside is inside you.
Right, right.
So own the responsibility of your life, and I'm sure you can change your life. That's all I want to tell each and everyone listening to this. And I'm sure all of us can, we can transform our lives. It is possible as long as we are willing to do it.
Right, right. That was again a very powerful message. Yeah, matlab, whatever we interacted today, I believe a lot of women around us, a lot of individuals around us, they are going through this, and a very powerful message given by you that it's okay, but do not settle for that mediocrity and that average life of yours, because we all are meant for something unique and something special.
Yes,
And this is
yes,
what our life journey is all about. It's unique, it's different for all of us. So there shouldn't be any comparison. Just
not possible.
embrace your story. Embrace your story. You
Yes,
know,
yes, yes. You can't compare
every
sun to moon.
Right, right. So this is the powerful message that I received, that, embracing yourself every moment. And if Jia could do it,
Yes,
being in that situation and then still finding for that, I always tell myself during my hard days, being an entrepreneur, it's not easy every day. You have to make tough decisions. The business goes up through its ups and downs. I always say, standing at the end of the tunnel. Just Shivani, keep looking at that light, right? You will pass through that. And it's just again a perception, how we perceive life.
yes.
We perceive with gratitude, love, peace, and joy, or we perceive life, it's problematic, it's tough, it's difficult,
Blame,
it's hard.
blame,
Shame, shame, and everything. So
everything.
life becomes heavy, and as soon as we shift our gears, to shift our minds, thought, one by one, taking that one step at a time. This is what I learned from your journey as well. You took one step at a time. You did not
Yeah.
rush through the process that, मैंने आज शुरू किया, कल मुझे results आ जाए. So you embrace that journey also with a lot of patience, that
Blame.
I've just started, I have to come out of it, and it will take its own sweet time. and you gave yourself that time.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
And yeah, never forget to pat your back at the end of the day,
right,
every night before sleeping. Ne every morning, one technique, if I can give it on your show, Shivani, would be, wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror, accept yourself as you are. Don't try to make your hair, don't try to look good as क्योंकि हम mirror के सामने जाते ही we start keep dressing कि मुझे I want to look a certain
look
way.
nice.
Not necessary. Look into your eyes, no matter how your hair is, how your skin is, whatever it is, and tell to yourself that I love you. And what is one thing that I can do for you today that will make you happy? That one
Right.
little thing, and then just do it. Just
Hmm.
do it, and every night before going to bed, just pat your own back and say, no matter how difficult it was, you have still gone through the day. You have you have come to your bed with everything that has happened to you. That means you have the power and strength to go through the next day as well.
Right, right,
Do not seek the validation from outside, give it to yourself. Once you start giving it to yourself, you will start receiving it from outside as well. But don't depend on it. Just pat your back.
right. Yes, pat your back. I will, this morning thing I used to do earlier, but now it's been locked. Sometimes mornings are
Yeah.
rushed up because of I have to send my son to school. My nights are late sometimes, but I'll start practicing this. And on that note, I would ask all my viewers here that this powerful tip given by Jeeya, please implement that. And as Jeeya said, that whatever you say in that moment, that I will do it for myself, please do it for yourself. As a woman, as a, maybe you're a housewife, or you're an entrepreneur, who you are, just love the way you are. And that one thing that you tell yourself, it can be as little as having a hot cup of chai, कि मेरे को
Yes.
आज मेरे पसंद की मसाला चाय पीनी है और मैं अपने जैसी मुझे चाहिए मैं वैसी बनाऊंगी, नॉट लाइक व्हाट अदर फैमिली मेंबर्स दे वांट, मैं उनके जैसे पीऊंगी, बट द वे आई
Mm.
वांट 20 minutes फॉर माई सेल्फ सिटिंग इन माई बालकनी, जस्ट हैविंग माई that hot cup for 20
Yes.
minutes. It can be as little as this, and it
Yes.
can give you that moment of peace and joy. This is what we are looking for, moment of peace,
Peace.
right? And if we can find that one moment of peace in our day, nothing like it, it means you are successful. It doesn't
Um,
matter who you are, where you are, what you do. Ultimately, we all are looking for that peace. And thank you so much, Jia, for this lovely interaction. It couldn't have been better. I like, it's from bottom of my heart. As I shared with you also that, how it
yeah.
all started.
Yeah.
So yes, it couldn't have been better because emotions, we all are emotional beings, and this whole episode revolved around emotions. So again, a very close subject to me as well as you.
Yes.
So looking forward to have, maybe another session with you where we can go more deep into this subject and come
Yes.
up with more experiences of yours and your journey as a life coach and healer.
Definitely. I'm so grateful for you having me here and giving me this opportunity, this platform to talk and discuss and just openly discuss, like openly talk about my life.
Mm.
It is such a privilege. I'm so thankful, to you. And I have got inspired by you. You inspired me in so many ways. So thank you for your presence. And I'm so happy that we connected. We didn't ever think that we'll be, doing this one day. And my God, this is such a blessing. Thank you so much, Shivani. I'm so happy. And whenever we meet next time, we will talk about other people and other people's problem and how, how what we can do through our journey. And
Right, right. Because again, our stories matter. This is all about BYOB story because our story is unique. And so please love your story, embrace yourself, embrace your journeys, life journeys. This is important.
yes, yes, thank you.